Oh. Okay.
More rain, more rain.
Oh, we didn't much.
We aren't gonna get
Did it
much
rain?
out. So that's supposed to.
Yeah.
I went to check fields again this morning and had to put side by side and four-wheel drive.
Kind of wet yet, huh?
Yeah, I was going along just fine. All of a sudden, we sunk about that deep.
I'm planting corn right now over here by the township building.
Yeah.
Ain't working too bad.
So if it don't rain much tonight, I'll probably start replanting tomorrow, and hopefully by the end of the week, I can.
By Saturday it should be fairly dry.
Yeah.
A couple days all it takes.
Well, there's talking 10, 12 days dry weather.
How long? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. About time.
Up after tomorrow morning, I think they're talking clear up to like I want to say next best chance of rain's like June 9th or 10th.
That long.
So
We'll be wanting rain by then.
yes, we'll be wanting rain by then.
All right, man. What's
Well, Todd should be here.
He just left work there. Well, I'll move over there then if that's all it's gonna be here.
Yeah, he should be here.
Let's give him 5 minutes. We got time. It's just-
Yeah. I don't know if this one's adjusted like she adjusted mine. Oh. Good afternoon, ma'am.
3:55, so he ought to be here anytime.
You bid, buddy, huh?
I do.
do.
There he is. Huh. I think you exceeded the speed limit on your way here.
No, I couldn't.
Why? You had a line of people in front of you?
Yes.
Mm.
So are you saying you would have otherwise?
I'm neither confirming nor denying that.
The sheriff's not here. You're safe. He just smiles when you tell him things like that.
Okay. We got,
Yeah.
we got two bids. Okay.
Got
This is
two
committee
bids?
meeting of building grounds committee. You open a couple of bids for each heating and air in our courthouse. We've got the bids. Got two bids in on the 22nd, I think it was, and so we're open today.
Yeah, there's a long list of stuff.
That could take a lot of, hopefully, it's halfway simple.
It's one of them from,
This is from Varner and one from KCH. So,
We received two.
these two.
I think there'd be more people bid.
Club's come and looked at it, but they didn't put a bid in. Club's submitted in.
Because you're about the only two that come and work on it anyway.
Well, I like this two local ones. I like that. But, bunch of crazy. Total, $105,125.
Who is that? Is that Barner's?
Yeah. that's
This
really hard.
is Varner,
And what was the total? 105?
105, 125.
Oh,
Got
actually.
all itemized out. And man lift cost is $2,600 on there, but that's up to them.
105 what?
105, 125.
125.
Good round.
Above does not include high voltage wiring to the outdoor units. And that's the way we want it.
Yeah.
Then we gotta furnish that, or they may do it, but we gotta pay for it. Okay? On here's this. The copy. Guess they're both same.
Yeah, I'd say they probably put two in there.
But you know, if you guys wanna look at it, and go through it.
You might need to sign it. Whoever you accept, you might need to sign it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to this first paragraph.
Oh, so he went line by line and everything.
We asked him to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's hopefully that's on the same line.
I seen he had figures out there.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be higher because, I mean, it's raining now,
Listen to that.
isn't it?
Listen to that money grow out
You
there.
can hear it?
Yeah,
You can hear it ring?
It was starting raining.
it sure sounded like it.
Yeah.
Is it raining? If it is, it's a light one.
That's
Maybe
something,
the
I assume it is.
Circulator kicking on.
Might be that. So this
Okay,
one,
that's their,
this one here, it's a 24,000 BTU. And it's 8,412, and this one over here's 10,000.
how many heads they got on it? One or two?
I don't know.
State's attorney, you looking at the first state's attorney?
2 sets of control wiring for indoor heads. Where's that one at? It don't say nothing about that. That may be,
Probably the difference.
yeah, just one indoor head on that one. That's in the hallway, so
The hallway number.
$1,000 for another head.
Upstairs hallway. is
Time's
3,000.
money, man.
That much for head, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
Ain't that less.
How much would you pay for a third arm?
Some days quite a bit.
East, hallway west, 3,000 feet, does it? Or Cumberland west,
Sidewalks dry.
but if it's not raining,
Okay, it must be that thing I'm hearing then.
It did sound like rain when you first
Yeah.
said that. And it was raining on me when I came in.
How much is that one?
That's the
this is
same.
a copy.
So-
Oh, I just copy. I thought it was the other one.
Oh, this is a copy. Okay, let's get the other one out and we will.
Hopefully
Okay, we'll
it's the
close.
same and then that way it's a complete comparison.
Hope it's easy to compare.
It's not, I can tell already.
Time to fire. Where? Where's the bottom line?
Right down there. Well, it's the phone number.
What the hell's going on, guys?
Are they gonna make us add it up?
Oh, he didn't add it up?
He doesn't have his, oh, here, there's more. No, he's got them in each
But
individually.
he didn't add them up. Well, I
Give me
guess
the
we can
numbers.
add 'em. I guess we can add them. Okay, let me just kind of have this thing. Okay, start with the first one is $10,373.
373.
Second one is $10,875.
10,875. Okay.
Next one is $7,906.
906. Yeah.
$7,906.
Okay.
Third one, Hall East is $6,913.
913. Okay.
The hall, and the next one is the hallway west, $6,913.
913. Begin.
That's the first page. Second page is $15,760.
760.
$15,760.
Okay.
Upper courtroom east is $14,095.
Okay.
The library break room is $9,043.
Okay.
Library break room, $9,043. Then we have another judge jury room for $9,043.
Okay.
And we have a pretrial third floor east, $7,537.
137.
And probation third floor west of $7,537.
Okay.
And what else? That's all, guys. Like I see, he says it's computer following: communication wire, line set cover, drains, wall brackets, pads, lift rental, miscellaneous parts and labor. Pricing excludes permit fees, fire alarms, and no main power.
105.
995.
Oh, shit.
How many dollars?
105,995.
What?
Well, the other one's 105,125. So,
They had that 2,600 on at the end.
Yeah, but still, these are all higher going through here. Each one was higher. I thought, so this guy got beat. What's the difference in price?
No, VNR had the difference,
Oh, well, what KCH have?
105,995.
$995.
The difference is $870.
So B&R cheaper.
Yep.
$800 cheaper.
Yep.
But-
$870.
Let me add those up
That
here
is
just to
close.
make sure.
That is real close.
Now, them numbers are becoming a lot bigger, so I just assumed that there'd be a lot more difference in that.
But did he have anything in his bid on man lift?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
KCH?
Yeah.
no, he did not have man lift.
Oh, he did not have man lift?
That $2,600 on the bottom here. $2,600 man lift, he did not have on there.
Oh,
Is that already figured in his price?
That says on it, says
Okay.
it's figured in. It probably includes lift rentals.
so it does have lift rental on that one right there.
ACH has lift rental.
Okay. And, but no main power, just like B&R. So,
Yeah.
I got the same note you did, Todd.
Those three are up, so that's, you got the same on that. Oh, damn, that is close.
That's,
a good thing.
that's very close.
Oh,
I'd
man.
much rather have it that close than
Like our concrete bid.
yeah, concrete bids.
Okay, well, yeah. You can look at them a little closer, that's right. That'll be different. How can you that close, guys?
Well, I mean, just like on the probation room, he was $900 higher than VNR. And that one there, he was about $800 higher. But then this one, some of these, he was a little cheaper than.
They tightened it up.
Yeah. See, like where he's 7906, they're 8,000, well, 6,639. Then this one, he's 6913, and this one here is 8,412. So I mean, they're
Okay,
they're close.
the big difference here is the hallway east and hallway west.
Yes.
ACH was at 6,900. They were 8,400. That's a total of $1,500 each. That's $3,000 right there, so. They can, that's probably why, that's why I was thinking it's the way I lined it.
Well, the upper courtroom west, VNR is 13 something, and he's 15,760.
Yeah. These here hallway east and west at the first floor.
That's those, not the mini splits.
No, I'll go you.
The
Should
air
be.
conditioner and aren't those the other, what do you call them?
Yeah,
They're
not-
mini splits.
Heat pump,
anything yoga.
gas furnace.
I hate to give anything yoga.
They've worked
Gas
on the
burns
building
in that
for
one.
years.
No, they're not gas. They're mini. See, here's a mini split right here. GE, an outdoor unit.
They're both yoga.
Oh,
They're both that side. They're both that side.
This is GE 24 watts.
They're both that
One
side.
head, one 40 head. It's got two 1,200. Push 10,300.
They're in yoga too? Oh, I was thinking of what's his name?
Upper room, oh, here's. with
Down
the-
here, I can't
Gas
remember.
furnace.
He's one done township building.
15,000. That's cheaper.
Kemper?
Okay.
No, I keep wanting to say
And
Huddleston.
Varner's is 13,300, so it's $2,000 cheaper there.
No,
The gas furnace really cheap.
Guy over here, he's one done township building.
All right. Well, guys, they're basically the same bid, different price. So I reckon we'll go with Varner's.
I'd say
I think
Barnes, wouldn't you?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's not a totally bad thing. Like I said, Barner's been doing most of the work on it for years anyway. So,
yeah, they'll do decent work.
and I hate it so close, but I hate it.
They're close.
Yeah, that's what sucks about it. But
And I think they're right, included everything they need.
Yep.
And the gas line, what about the gas line, the same thing? If you run gas up to the second floor. To the gas furnaces, I assume that's in there somewhere. Same thing.
See, there wasn't nothing in the bid sheet about the gas line.
No. If we put the furnace in, they sure run gas to it. Okay.
Yeah,
They won't.
here's another thing. We're putting all these in, there's gonna be enough electricity there.
I'd hope it's got its own transformer.
Well, surely.
Yeah.
How much, like, I don't know, I assume they will. They,
It should be more efficient.
they run them heat pump, how much stuff do they take? Got several of them.
Yeah, we'll have to run that boiler pumps.
And, but we got their own transformer, he said.
Yeah, they got their own transformer on the north side of
There's
the
gonna be a lot of electrical and gas work to do on this.
You're taking that boiler away. That takes a lot of power to push and up what height.
That's the thing on the boiler, I mean.
Hopefully get rid of that and someday, hopefully I hope they put the heat pumps in first. And then they get most of them in, and then they start on the gas furnace. And then
I sit down up here, even though I'm not
Sit down anywhere you want, ma'am.
So anyway,
No, I can't.
Yeah, you
I can't.
Yeah, there's no little, Beverly, don't have your little name tag up.
just open the bids on our KCA, on our air conditioning for the courthouse. $105,000.
That's how close they were. That's one bid, and that was the other bid. Wow. That's pretty close.
That is close.
Then $800 roughly.
Wow.
870 would be
Yeah.
a pump shotgun away.
Yes,
Okay.
that'd be $1,500 higher after next year.
Do we need to look at
28,
it? Do we need to look at it any closer, guys? You gonna take time to study it, or don't you? I don't see much.
I think it pretty much is what it is.
Still.
Everything's
I
listed
can
here.
both same, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, double check every item.
this is basically just printed off of what we already have here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check one more thing. 1, 2, 3,
So-
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different bids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different bids. What's the matter? They got every single one the other man. So, them bids are good enough.
I would say.
You keep the bids up.
Mhm.
You keep a copy of them.
Yes, I'll keep them.
I don't need to see, I want to see them, I can look at them, I don't see why I'd want to see it.
Because, yeah, once you guys vote on whoever, you'll have to sign whoever's.
Okay.
I would say DNR.
Yeah, they'll do a good enough job. I was kind of hoping for KC, he might maybe.
I mean, they're close.
Yeah, but they were still, we gotta go with lowest bid. Lowest bid. So. Anything else to discuss about the building grounds? Oh, they're working on the roof of the jail. A couple leaks on that jail.
Yeah,
And then PV's pipes going through the roof, and I was up there one time after the big rain we had here a couple weeks ago. They had water on the floor. The
rubber boots around the pipes.
boots were getting bad. So we found Human and Powell, BP Roofing, come over and looked at it. They replaced 12 of those boots. And they were not hard trouble finding the right boot. The boots they got were made for shingle roof. And this tin roof, it's not quite the same, but they make them fit. That's what they did on the first time around.
Mhm.
And they caulked the hell out of it, tarred it, and made it last 30 years. And they're gonna do the same thing, hopefully get it working.
Yeah, if it lasts another 30 years, be fine.
Also, the capping on that, it was also leaking with a blowing rain. Bierman told me that he went up there and the tin is about an inch short from what it should be to do it right. He did that from the beginning. So I don't know how he's gonna fix that. Thinking about it.
A lot of great stuff. Just squirt that in there.
Yeah, he might. So they're working on hopefully get that roof fixed. And,
That copy on TV, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, that good stuff.
What is-
Last forever. So anyway, that's the only thing I know about that situation. Mhm.
Well, as long as you get the leak stopped.
Be great, be great. Mhm.
So.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, that's what we need this here. I'll hit the restroom, I'll be right back.
So are we adjourned?
Yeah, committee meeting's over. Adjourned. Enough.
Your phone's about as bad as mine.
Got a crack in it.
They keep telling me it's not in the screen, it's just in the cover, but I don't want to take a chance, pull it all apart to look.
I've had every iPhone since iPhone 2 or 3, and have never, ever broke a screen.
Let's see, I backed over mine with a sprayer, with a spray truck once. That was just basically because I took it up there and then said,
Well, that very similar.
wrong with it. Okay.
Little truck, worked out the highway department,
They were on the shop floor, back the truck out.
never cracked the screen. Don't know how.
My biggest fear one time, I fed hay to the cows and the bull was out there and I got to the gate to shut the gate and I was like, I don't have no phone. Went back out there through the mud and I was looking around right between the bull's front feet, like my dang cell phone. Oh gosh. He just stood there and I bent down between his front legs and picked the phone up. I could just see him turning and stepping on my phone. It just busted all the crap, but he didn't. I got very lucky.
Pretty calm bull.
Yes. One time I got a brand new phone, had it in a case like this. I was on a zero turn mower. Evidently the handles flipped it out of there. I mowed right over top of it. And of course I just put brand new blades on the mower. It just disintegrated that phone.
Ray went through 3 phones with my one, and then we got rid of her dad was telling the same one. Yeah.
So when they ask,
So somehow later, mine broke one egg, baptized one, and we'll have to.
Dad had a new phone, only had about 2 days. Lost it. Same day, same time he lost his glasses. Now, I don't know how you lose your glasses off your head and don't even know it. But he got back up in the combine, started combining it. There went his glasses and there went his cell phone. Right through the combine.
And then expensive.
Had to take his glasses off to wipe his sweat off, and he forgot to.
He lost a pair, he mowed over the top of him. Tree limb caught him, flipped him off. I said, how in the world do you lose glasses off your face when you gotta have them to see? You don't even know you lose your glasses.
He must have been taking
Whose phone
on.
is that?
My office.
Do you want me to go answer it?
Sure, if you want to.
Sound like he's coming over here.
What it sounds like.
Well, it rings. My phone number is in the basement and the kitchen.
In the basement.
And that's me why, but it does. There's a phone down there.
In case somebody gets trapped in the basement. No stranger things have happened.
Well, you know, they might be down there on some kind of stormboard, and we do a phone call.
Mine, you never know. Oh, crap, I'm in her chair. Oh, she's just,
They may want to upset. Since you said that,
I doubt if Tim will be here. I haven't heard.
He won't be here.
I don't know about Johnny.
He's on vacation.
John was on vacation.
I thought he
He's out there. Well, I know.
Yes.
Took off on his road trip. He's back Wednesday, Thursday. He'll be gone 6-7 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a big trip.
How in the world can you milk cows and be gone for 6 days?
Oh, they got hired hand around there. His daughters, 2 daughters and 1 son.
Probably have to take care of that.
They get along without him.
That's why we don't have damn dairy.
Yeah, they're moving over that place. They're always doing something. Cutting hay, home in there. They never ends. Never. Keep himself busy, that's for sure.
That'd be great.
Sprinkle on me while you're. He will not be here on.
Miss this deal tonight, tomorrow we should be good.
So 4:30.
Johnny showing up.
Yes.
Everything's going to a redo as well ground, that's why we did it, but it didn't go with the last thing.
I'm pretty sure I have. I didn't.
The new captain up there.
That's a picture from,
in Cumberland.
oh, that's 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Picture on my phone.
10 years ago down there.
That cow died last summer.
Well, you saw him before he died.
Well, because it was my daughter's.
No.
I got a full sister to her that's, that her name's Butterscotch, so that'll tell you what color she is. And that one belongs to my son. And I told my son the other day, I said, you know, she's 17 years old. He goes, that doesn't matter. I said, well, she probably needs to go. Nope, she's not going nowhere.
He liked it, huh?
He said, we got a couple of youngins that were born on the farm, and they were born on the farm, and they would be buried there. And, they're close to getting ready, 3, 4.
Yeah, see, I'd done that one time. I bought a heifer I bought. She's a big pet. I mean, you'd go out there and hand feed her in the pasture. Well, she missed breeding back. She was like 14 years old. I told everybody I was getting rid of her. My wife even threw a fit. So one Tuesday morning, she was standing up at the barn, and I just walked her in, shut the gate, put the trailer on, loaded her up, took her to Shelbyville. That was on Tuesday. About Friday, they started asking where she's at. They couldn't find her. And I said, well, she's probably at McDonald's by now. And I just almost got run out.
All right.
I can imagine why.
Huh?
My wife was gonna string me up.
I can imagine.
Okay, it's a committee meeting. Budget. Discuss salaries of our 4 elected officials. The salary was set 2 months at a county board meeting 2 weeks ago. And afterward, I got thinking, this is a little bit extreme in my opinion, maybe. So I wanted to revisit it, and like I said, it was a 27% increase the first year and a 5%, 5%, 5% the next 3 years. It'd be a 42% increase over the last time. And I just got to thinking maybe we could do a little better than that. First of all, I saw a little on Facebook how somebody set their own salaries and all this blah, 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 but no, it was done legal, right? Department head did not set their own salary. It was set by the county board, and they come and ask for a certain salary, and we approved it a couple weeks later. So that part is, there's nothing to that on Facebook, but I heard on Facebook. I don't know what else on Facebook. So I talked to a few people. My one neighbor is the ex-school teacher, and he said he had never heard of a 27% increase in salary on taxpayer. He never heard of that. He also said the comment that anytime you have over 6% salary, you could get a penalty. And so, then I talked to another neighbor of mine. He said he might get a 3% raise working at his job in Effingham. He might get a 3% raise. So that's when you're thinking that 27% is just a little bit, it's a little scary, so. Just a minute, okay, I will let a few people speak. Sir, you had your hand up, Rick?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I checked on Google on IMRF. It said anything over, it was 6% or 2 times the, like, cost of living or something. It had, I left my phone in the car, so I can't check it. It said anything over that, there is a substantial penalty that the employer has to pay.
Okay.
It didn't say what amounts to substantial. But it's to discourage, I guess, giving big raises all at once to add retirement.
Yeah, that's the penalty we're talking about. But they don't say what the amount is.
No.
Substantial.
That not where I was at. It was just a couple, some paragraphs.
Okay. All right, yeah. But anyway, I know we've done this, Scott, but we got till the first day of June, second, third day of June to change it if we have to. I was hoping maybe a 6% increase in salary each year for 4 years. That would stay under this penalty, no problem. That'd be a 24% increase in salary in 4 years. That's right, so we just passed, it's like a 27% plus 15, that's a 42% increase in salary, which I just think the everyday citizen in Cumberland County doesn't get any kind of increase in salary like that. So, yes, Rhonda?
I'm going to confirm with the others because it's been pointed out that I was the one that brought this to the board, and I thought I made it perfectly clear. But I'm speaking on behalf of all 4 elected officials. Is that correct?
Okay.
So the county treasurer, the county assessor, the county clerk, and I met multiple times before we met with you at the initial committee meeting. Each of us brought different information to the table. We discussed historical raises for both department heads and non-department heads. We compared our salaries to those of similar county officials across the state and provided and reviewed other relevant data. When we then collaboratively brought the information to the board during the committee meeting, approaching the board as a unified group. Here we are again. And once again, I'm speaking on behalf of all of us elected officials involved in this resolution. The statements made during the committee meeting as part of the initial presentation were our words, agreed upon by us, not my words, agreed and presented in unity. And all 4 of us confirmed the fact publicly. Additional comments, responses, rebuttals were also provided individually and collectively during the meeting by the officials involved. We have the right to bring information to the board. We have the right to ask questions, and we have the right to request equal pay. Equal raises is actually what we're covering here for equal work. We brought supporting parity information in black and white for you all to review. Documents including compiled historical raise information awarded to other county employees and revealed to the board that the wage gaps and differences in raises awarded across the board above 6% historically, just so everybody knows that. This isn't the first. We revealed to the board the wage gaps and differences in raises awarded across the board. The notable points discussed: in the previous 8 years, pay raises were awarded to employees that, when calculated, came to a difference of over $14,000 when compared to the raises that these 4 elected officials received, both department head and non-department head.
You say, wait a minute, you said the non-department head got them $14,000 more than the department head?
Yes, and we've supplied that to you. I have another copy if you'd like to see
I
it.
find that hard to believe.
You should have researched that because that's exactly what we brought to you. So we had it in black and white, compared what the FOP union, what the labor's union got, and what we received. At the end of this year, when the FOP gets their second and the other people get their second raises, it will tally over $14,000 in differences in the raises that you awarded us for female elected officials. The board was asked about the procedure for determining raises in a previous monthly meeting and during the recent committee meeting. To date, we're not aware of any set procedure that's in place to determine the raises that were historically given. That too is something that we advocated for in that meeting, and you all were present. We understand that the resolution is set for 4 years. It's voted on, and then it's filed in the county clerk's office. We gave the benefit of the doubt to the board members that the raises awarded to these 4 positions could easily be overlooked, as they are not part of an annual budget negotiation. These resolutions have statutory requirements and must be set accordingly. Jenny provided statewide median wages to us, which I was corrected. Actually, Floyd, you sent the median wage information to Bev, who submitted that to us, who gave that median wage information of the county officials that you all reviewed at the meeting. We did not supply that information. It came from you.
No, it did not.
Bev, did you get an email from Floyd that sent median county official raises?
Jasper County got
He
it.
sent it to you, you sent it to me, and it had all that stuff.
It had a median, it did.
Yep.
It's the UCCI.
Additionally, we provided a list of county salaries as a comprehensive overview of the salaries for comparison and discussion as well. We asked the board to review the information provided, note the parity issues, and rectify the previous parities. This isn't a raise moving forward. This is to rectify what you have awarded to other individuals of the county that are employees that you have not awarded us. Negotiations are open conversations. We were all able to provide input, including you. When you looked at me and said, you can have, well, how about 5%, 5%, 5%, and 5%? And I said, and what does that calculate out to? Your answer to me was, I don't know.
What
The
do you mean,
board
I don't
all
know?
has equal amount of time to speak and discuss the information we all set here. The information that we agreed to came from another board member, not us. We gave information, you picked the number, we said okay. As to the information made public, whether it be in the newspaper or on Facebook, I personally argue the fairness of the presentation of the information. Other county employees' raise information has not historically been published. The information regarding the raise parity was never mentioned. The presentation of the 4 officials' raises was presented, but with no other information as to why those rectification raises happened. These tidbits of information were presented, but what was not shared was why. Why did this conversation come up? Why did this action take place? And no one is searching that either. It also did not represent the full picture of the context of the discussion content. It also did not represent the full picture of the context of the discussion content at the negotiation table from the meeting. And it painted the 4 elected officials in very bad light. Regardless of other possible intent, we merely pointed out the differences, stood up for ourselves, presented supporting information, and requested that the county board rectify those differences. We've done nothing wrong, nothing illegal, and nothing inappropriate. And you have been in contact, Floyd, with the Toledo Democrat, and we were also informed, all of us were informed, that you told the newspaper not to be present at tonight's meeting. We'd like to know publicly if that is correct.
I did not tell the newspaper to not be here.
That's what we were told
When did you hear that?
today.
No, that's false.
At the, it's probably midday today, all 4 of of our offices were visited by Floyd Holcomb. Did you know that, board members? That he was coming to our offices?
No.
No? He came into each one of our offices today to ask us why we would ask. He leaned on my counter and said, why would you ask for a 27% raise? Were you not present at that meeting, Floyd? Did you not hear the information? Did you not see the information that was provided? Did we answer that question to the other 3 board members present? Did we answer that information? What we were requesting, did we make that clear? I don't
We made
feel that it's
everything clear.
necessary to make the 4 individuals that have historically been shortchanged in the raises pay and be painted in a bad light and could possibly cost us our positions of where we are. And I have been in my position for 12 years and with the county for 14. Jenny?
I've been in my position 4 in the county for 19.
For 9th year. 10th year. 10th year. So we've got longevity, we have the experience, and we asked for rectification. We didn't ask you for a 27% raise. We asked you to rectify it, and we provided the information.
You didn't ask for 27% raise?
We asked for you to make up the difference that you have been giving the other ones. If you want me to, I'll state them. You gave the public defender in 22 and 23, you gave us a 6% raise. I might add, we've had 2 6% raises since I came in 14. Yet you gave the public defender, who is a part-time public defender, $11,000 in 2022 and $5,000 in 2023. I'm not sure what that is, but we can find that out. So don't sit here and make it look like we're in a bad light when we point out wage parity that you awarded. You were on that board the entire time. And some of these people are new, but in the last, was it just last year, the FOP? In December, they awarded the FOP, 19 employees of Cumberland County, a $6,240 raise each.
What's the percentage increase would that be?
Well, $3. It has, they were given a $3 raise across the board. Historically, you don't give percentages, you jump back and forth. In 2022, you gave them $2. In 2023, you gave them 6%. In 2024, you gave them 5%. In 25, you gave them a $3 raise. In 26, you're giving them 4 1/4, and in 27, you're giving them 4 1/4 again, or maybe 4 1/2. I may not have
4
that correct.
1/4%?
Mhm. If you, over the last, well, since I came into office, and I didn't ask them to figure this, I just figured it. The average cost of living is 3.2%. I've received 4%, 4%, 4%, 4%, 0, 1, 2, 6, 6, 3, 3. I don't have all of the information, but I can definitely provide it if you'd like to compare that to the others.
Mhm.
I think I provided enough.
A $3 raise for the police department, right?
Yep, and a $1 raise to our departments. Jenny, do you know why that was?
Because if they gave the $3 an hour raise, then our employees were going to be making what we were or more.
That $3 an hour would be about 12% increase in salary.
What's the pay? What pay does Russ get? Do you know that?
I'm assuming $25 an hour.
No.
The other police are getting around $25 an hour. Russ, he gets,
Well, if I had the book that Jenny gives us at the meetings, I could tell
Jenny
you.
has that information.
I just want to, sorry, Rhonda, I don't want to interrupt you. We'll
No,
get back
go
to that in a second. I just want to point out that if everybody would want to look up House Bill 5584 that was brought forward on February 13th and 26th, it's going to mandate that the county has to pay the supervisor of assessments, county clerk, treasurer, and the circuit clerk 80% of the state's attorney's wages. So
I'll make sure.
Yeah, so that's gonna make us hurt if that passes. And they'll do that in little increments. But if we don't catch this up now, we're gonna be hit with this next year if this House bill passes. So they're gonna force us. Now, the good thing on that side of it is the state will pay 66 2/3 of the salaries if that passes. So that's gonna take the lift off of the county, but it's gonna raise the taxes on the Illinois side because we're gonna be paying for that from everything north of here. So
Yeah,
if we don't do this catch up now, it's gonna be a bigger slam to us in the future. So,
That's gonna put their salaries up to $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
What difference does it make if we give them a big salary now or not? If the state takes over, what's that gonna make a difference? What difference does it make?
what difference is it gonna make? It's gonna make a big difference if they're
Yeah.
paying 66 2/3 of it.
Catch up a lot faster.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be such a hit on the county taxpayer. It's gonna be the full state taxpayer it's gonna hit.
If that goes into effect, that's really gonna whammy everything.
Well,
But they never asked
They
for
don't.
27%. That's what we came up with. And they were in agreement on it. And the only thing we was trying to do at 27% is get them up closer to the counties around us, like Jasper and Clark County, is what they were making, which Clark County is getting ready to raise theirs again.
you're just fighting the battle, you never win. It's just a race to the top, so that. We need to look at the taxpayers and try to hold the line on our budget. Did we pass a balanced budget last year, Bev? Or negative budget?
We could have, but you wanted to have a $50,000 deficit.
How is that
That was your
pertinent?
quote.
How is that statement that you just made pertinent if you're rectifying a difference? You made the difference. You put it into effect, not us.
There wasn't a lot of discussion on that, like you said there was, but we go to negotiations with unions, their salary. The union people come
Public
in,
defender is not salary. I mean, public defender is not union.
no,
You decided that.
no, but
25%. Don't back out of it, Floyd. You're not giving apples to apples. You're trying to talk around it. You gave him 25% in 2 years. Why? I don't know.
25% in 2 years, that's 12% a year, right?
No. You went from 64,000 to 75,000 the first year, and then 75,000 to 80,000 the second year. You've increased other departments by thousands. Yet you're going to say that we have to watch our budget now all of a sudden, and we have to do this because, we passed a whatever budget. You don't know, Floyd.
Well, when we run out of money, everybody, we need to cut spending. Try to balance the budget, try.
Well, legally, if you look in, the research says that if you have a wage parity, it is a requirement to bring the people up to the equal work for equal pay versus lowering those that already have been awarded that money down to what we are. I wish you would quit laughing. This is not fun.
That's
the law.
That's not
That's
the
not the
reason.
law.
That's not the reason.
Do you know what the Fair Act even says, Floyd? Have
No,
you
I
ever
don't.
read it?
No, I
Then
don't.
how can you tell me that's not the law?
Well, if it is, we're all in trouble. Excuse me.
The problem is you flippantly say things like that, Floyd, and you don't know, and you do that repeatedly. And I'm not gonna have these people sit here and think what you're telling them is all the truth when you're not giving them all the information. That's why we're all for here.
Okay, just a minute. Lady in the back.
I have a question. So basically, if this were to go through, then that would affect taxes for everybody in Cumberland County. It would cause our taxes to go up even more. Is that what you're saying?
No.
About the House bill?
No,
No.
with this.
This raise was given to the employees.
No.
Yeah, yes, it would make
It
us,
would.
No, it won't.
Again, Floyd.
Let me finish, please.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically, because I had talked to Mackenzie, she had sent me a paper showing that they had sent a copy out on taxes. And she was saying every 4 years, they're gonna keep raising them. And so, we do have to budget. I mean, there's a lot of people, taxes just keep going up. And is this true? Every 4 years, they're gonna just jack them up, whatever they think that they can jack them up to? That's my question.
Springfield set all that into motion 7, 8 years ago. And a guy that was on another county board, and I said something about taxes going up, and he said, you need to talk to Springfield. He said they got that all set up. When they're done, downstate Illinois will be paying what Champaign County is.
I know, and the question is, so then these prices are raising and everybody's wanting, I mean, it's like fuel prices are up. What are they gonna do when people can't afford to pay these taxes? You know, when they keep just going up and up and up. I mean, people own this property, then you have these taxes. I mean, they just 39%, like getting this in the mail and expecting people that are barely making ends meet.
Well, they need,
I can explain. So
yeah, go
what
ahead.
I has said is your property by statute has to be reassessed every 4 years. That is how often we're supposed to do it. In 4 years, it could go up, it could go down. It is completely based on the real estate market. If the real estate market were to crash, then your property values could go down in 4 years. That doesn't necessarily mean your tax bill will go down, because that's totally based on what your taxing districts are asking for. But so I have no idea in 4 years when you're reassessed what kind of real estate market we're looking at.
I talked to Todd Beard today, and he's told me a lot of stuff. He's not on the board anymore. And he was saying that basically, that sometimes they go with a drone over there and that's not even accurate is what they had told him. So that they're trying to figure this out with a drone. They've been doing drone assessments and different things like that, and that it's not really that accurate when they do it that way.
No, we do have aerials. No, we don't own a drone. We do have aerials flown every few years to show us any changes, any additions, since we don't have any permitting to know when there's new construction or if someone's taking something down. We do not rely on that. We physically go in a reassessment year. We physically visit every single property. My office does. When we come out and knock on the door and leave a door hanger, we physically visit every single property to make sure that we have all your information correct, to see if there's any changes, to check on the condition of the property, because that's all going to affect your market value. So if we come out and your house is in worse condition than it was last time, your property value could go down. It is completely based on the real estate market. We do every single parcel by hand. When we do a reassessment, we sit down and we take the time, we do every single parcel by hand. I find your house, I find homes that are similar to yours that have sold. I write them on there, so when you come in and ask me how did I come up with this fair market value, it's because I have 3 or 4 other properties that are like yours that have sold that give me a basis to what your fair market value should be. So if you were to put your house on the market, I'm assuming based on all of the sales that are happening in our county, that this is what you could get for your property based on what I can see from the outside, from the road. So that is how that number is set. And like I said, we, by statute, have to do that every 4 years.
What do you do with a house that was almost impossible to sell due to its location? Say on a hog farm, nobody else is gonna come buy that house.
We don't have any sales data to
What?
back that. I said, we don't have any sales data to back that up. We would have to have multiple homes that have
Just
sold
common
near a
sense,
hog farm.
you would need data, it's common sense would tell you that.
No, we don't. It's all based on sales data.
So if you think the government's based off common sense, you're way, way, way
I
back
mean,
there.
that's how property tax in the state of Illinois is set up. It's based on the real estate market.
Yeah, but you said you control that area.
Right, based on what's happening in our county. It's, we're comparing home values to homes that are similar to yours in our area.
Okay, next, back to your first question, lady in the back. You think that if we raise salaries for the employees of the county, your taxes will go up to pay for it, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking. Well, how else are you gonna pay for it?
Did you look at your tax bill this year, Floyd?
I didn't.
Well,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I understand that these raises, Coles County was the county that was used to make a comparison to. Well, how about a county more the size of Cumberland County? How about looking at Jasper County?
We looked at
We looked at
Jasper
Jasper and Clark.
What?
We looked at Jasper and Clark. Coles County was not a factor in the decision.
Coles County what?
Was not a factor in the decision.
That'd be comparing apples and oranges.
So. So you don't think
Floyd, on your
Go ahead.
tax bill, your tax rate, if you notice, after you guys passed all those raises that happened December 1 that Rhonda spoke on, the tax rate, the levy rate for Cumberland County from last year to this year
decreased.
Why?
Explain what that is.
Because your assessed valuation went up, right? That's why the rate
Your-
goes down.
but your tax rate, your tax levy still, that rate still decreased. It doesn't, it's not gonna matter whether you give everybody raises across the board. You're still gonna levy the max when you go to levy. If you don't give anybody raises, you're still gonna levy the max when you go to levy, because that's your base and you can't lose your
Where are we gonna
base.
get the extra money to pay for these salaries?
Got it in your reserve is what you told me today.
I didn't tell you that.
Yes, you did, when I asked you why you were telling people that we were spending solar money that we're not spending.
I didn't
And I
tell you.
said, so where do you think we're getting it from? And your answer to me was, from our general fund, from taxpayers, from our general fund.
Well, general fund, yeah,
That's your reserve.
that's a reserve.
That's where 90% of the employees are paid out of for the county, is your general,
So we'll have to raise the general fund in order to cover our rate.
which is what you do every year when you give raises to everybody else.
Right.
It's no different than doing it for anyone else.
So we have to raise our general fund to pay for your raise. Yeah,
But you can only, because you are under PTEL, you can only raise it so much.
and that's another problem. We can get in trouble.
But yes, and you're correct in what Todd even said. You chose to pass a negative budget. Your other 5 members were willing to dwindle down your budget so that it was balanced, but you said you wanted to pass a negative budget because you had union negotiations this year. And you wanted to show that it was a negative budget due to union negotiations. That was your
Yeah.
choice.
So I had the
Because
power,
they were choosing to dwindle down budgets.
so I have the power to decide what the negative public budget. I myself personally, one board member sets it aside, right?
That's up to you guys.
No, but you did say that we ought to pass a negative budget because we had negotiations and it looked better.
And you'd agree with that, right?
Yeah,
So you think it's a good idea too?
well, yeah, I'm a rookie at this. Hope they don't throw me under the bus. But yeah, we was all in agreement to it. Everybody that sat at this table was in agreement to it.
Pass a negative budget.
How
How many years can you pass a negative budget before you get in trouble?
well, till you run out of money.
That's right.
You know,
I guarantee it won't never happen
Paul
again.
so long.
And we've got to say too, even when we pass our budgets, this is for everybody here. Whenever we come in to do our budget every year, we have a chart that goes down on how much we were over on stuff. We've never been in the red at the end of the year.
No,
It's always been in the black. It's always been high to black. The department heads have done great at being stewards of your money.
Absolutely.
So when you think that we pass a negative budget, we may come out with a positive on that at the end of the year because they are stewards of your money in the offices that they hold.
they're always trying to budget for more than they think they'll need just to cover for emergencies. So they don't have to come to the board and say, hey, you know, this happened and it's not in the budget, but can we do something?
I wish I'd have brought it with me so I could see what the actual number we was in the black at the end of last year. But we was highly in the black. We weren't in the red.
And I
So-
think when you passed the budget the year before, it was in the red a little bit, wasn't it?
Just barely.
The last
Yeah.
couple of years have been in the red just a little bit.
But when it all come out in the end, we were in the black.
Very, very true. So these office holders that we just give the raise to are good stewards with your money to ensure that it's not wasted.
Because if they come in during negotiations or the time we set our budget rather, they're always coming in trying to figure out how can we save money for the county.
Including things.
Yeah, and I will say Jenny does a fantastic job. She fights tooth and nail for better interest rates and does a great job managing our money and earning more money on it.
You spoke a little bit ago, we had negotiations. Anytime we have negotiations with our union officials, they come in, county board sits down with them, they bring in an offer, they would like to have a big raise here. Well, okay, then we come back, we offer them a small raise. Then they come back and they lower their raise, and we come back, we raise our raise, eventually we get to a number we like. I didn't think we had a negotiation like that.
I
You just
think
come
we
in-
did. I think I
What's the
come up,
definition of negotiation?
I think I actually come up with some numbers.
We come up with several different
Yeah,
numbers
I
on
mean,
with them.
I tried to pull
Came
some
back at-
together and we went back and forth for quite, I think we did we not dwindle over to another committee meeting?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
I think
because,
we did.
yeah, because it went on for a long time. It lasted a lot longer than our labor union negotiations did.
Yeah.
And it was not just a wimp, yeah, we're gonna do this. It went back and forth.
We went back and forth quite a bit on it.
We were here for over an hour.
Yes.
We went back, we still have with a 27% increase tax. That's,
And we
And
still.
and I know
didn't bring
it sounds horrible, and I said this at the beginning of the board meeting before I voted on it. This was a cause and effect from past boards failing these offices for not giving them the raises that they deserve and they needed to get caught up to this situation.
Right.
Now we're getting hammered with it, bang, big time right now, which looks bad. I granted that, but then once we're caught up in the next 4 years, it doesn't have to be another 27% raise. We can go to the 3 or 4% raise. We can do this, we can do that. But if the state comes in and says you got to pay 80%, then we're already ahead of the game here a little bit. So we're close to that, so we don't have to make up near as much as that. So it was thought out, and the future of it is better for the taxpayer than it right now. I agree, it looks bad. I'm not happy with it. I've never had a 27% raise either, but it shouldn't have happened this way from the past.
So you're saying that our county will be solvent enough to take this on? We can.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a $7 an hour raise. These are elected officials that work 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, sometimes a little bit more. They don't have to. They only have to come in and set their office up, and they can go do another job. But they're working officials. So what's that going to do? That's going to add it. Hey, we need more help in this office. So we're going to have to hire somebody else to fill that spot. So then we're going to talk more money. So yeah, it's actually probably going to save us money in the long run.
I mean,
I know
Will
the
the county
Jennings
be
office
solvent?
has a lot less.
we'll
than
stay
we
solvent
start.
and
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
I mean, you can never tell. You can never predict that. I can say we'll be fine. Well, then the economy crashes and we're all screwed. Nobody knows that in the
This will
future
also
like that.
affect our other employees of the county. You know, this is 4 employees who got this raise. Every time we have next negotiation for another employee down the road, they'll all look at that 27% increase and they'll be eyeballing.
You're talking about a department head to the worker. Not that the worker's any less important.
Yeah, they're all
But
important.
you're talking about
Department head to the job, they don't have no help.
anybody in here work in corporate America? Or nobody works in corporate America? Does the concrete truck driver make more than the guy in the office, the manager?
No.
Huh?
No.
What? Okay, but he doesn't. He doesn't though. He doesn't. The truck driver probably don't make any more than the dispatcher when he's out there on the road slaving away. The guy on the floor don't make more than the guy up there answering the phone, telling how good the business is done. It just doesn't work that way. So you can't, if we had to give this raise and we give a raise to the workers in there, they were going to be making as much or if not more than the department heads. So where's that at? Why would the worth of the elected official who takes on all the responsibility have to make less than the person that's working underneath them? So you got to think about that aspect of it too. We're not going to catch the office employee up to the manager this year. You know, we hope to never catch him back up to that. But
We had to be careful with that during negotiations,
yes.
that we didn't have the office employee to be more than our elected officials.
So we did a 1-year deal with the labor union to figure that out. So we knew where they were going to be and what we could afford to give them for the next 4 years.
That is only a 1-year deal, correct? With the other employees.
It was a 1-year deal.
Right.
So then, and on that, we had the FOP for the cops and the labor union was a negotiation the same year. Now we're going to have them offset. So we don't have to take those big.
Both at one time.
Both at one time. So it's going to be like that. So that was kind of the idea of the deal too, was so we didn't have to do both labor union and the FOP at the same time every 4 years. So there's thinking that goes on here, and the discussions and the thought process, there's a purpose behind it. It's not that we just come in here and say, hey, here's all the taxpayers' money. It's not that at all. So I don't want anybody to think that on anybody that sits on the board that made these decisions either.
Don't you think though, with the rising cost of everything, that we're gonna have to think about getting more sources of income besides just the taxpayers?
I agree.
Like business attractions.
I agree, but you know, it's like the county Neoga has everything tied up by their interstate. Interstate traffic is where we make our money.
Right.
But let's be honest, Greenup has it all locked up on the Greenup side. The county seat doesn't have any, they put a exit down there, then maybe, but they're never gonna do that, because that'll cost too much. So, I mean, if there's any farmers that'd like to sell the county some ground, that would be prized business things, talk to us at a fair market value, not at $10,000 an acre. I mean, that's just crazy. That's why our taxes are going up, because people are buying $10,000 an acre ground, raising everything up. So, I mean, if everybody's willing to give it, I mean, I'll sell it
I don't
too.
think you can buy it for 10.
Well, I don't know where, I'm just going back to thinking about where my little bit was. So.
Well, I spoke with a gal today at the bank and I felt so bad. They only own an acre and they raised their taxes last year $800 and then $300 this year. So when does it get capped is what I want to know. It's terrible. She was telling me about it today. And it's like, you know, a lot of this money I seen on my tax paper that it's going to the school out here.
Majority of
Why
our
is
taxes
that?
go to the school.
Yeah, because is federal not kicking in anything there?
That's a conversation you need to have with your school superintendent.
I have no idea.
That's not.
And we have no control over what the
Yeah,
school
they
tax
don't
is. We have no
say
control.
here about what the school charge. That's where half your taxes at least goes. to
60% usually go to your school. 20% goes to the county and 20%
A lot
to
of us, yeah, so that's.
the township, roughly. Mhm. Any other comments? Also, I think I've heard that where I live, your house taxes, you got the same house in Effingham County, taxes in Effingham County are lower than the taxes in Cumberland County.
But look at your industry.
No.
That's the difference. So why would,
Yeah,
that's why we
the
gotta watch our
industry,
spending.
That's the point I was making. You
Yeah.
know, we've got to have something. You know, it gets to the point, you know, that there's only so much of the pie to go around. I get that. You know, everybody's having to balance money. But, you know, if we're gonna, you know, I've lived there my whole life. If we're gonna upgrade, you know what I'm saying, become a bigger society here, we've got to have a source of income. It can't just be strapped on the taxpayers to come up with it all, because it gets to the point, why does anybody want to own it?
And I agree with that. But I've rattled my mind about what we could bring in to the county that's going to help the county. If we bring something in on the west side, it's going to help out Neoga more. It's going to help out the county. It's the same thing with Greenup. You know, if somebody can come up with if anybody's got any ideas, I would be happy to look into them and see what we can do to bring them in here. I mean, Toledo created an industrial park out here by the event center, but there's a storage unit and a welding shop out there and a construction business. There's equal opportunity to bring businesses into the county, but there's nothing to incentivize them to come into the county.
So you need to remember this when you go and vote in November, by the way, because the Springfield's gonna have more control over that sometimes than we are.
Oh, I understand. It's
Yeah,
all
you know
downhill
that.
effect from
Yeah.
Springfield.
The cities have it better, the villages have it better than the county. If you look at it tax wise, I mean, just take Greenup, for instance, they own their electricity, they own their gas, they own their water. You know, they have, all their overhead comes back to them on a monthly payment. You know, Neoga, I don't know what Neoga owns of theirs, but I know they have their water. Toledo only has water. Maybe, water. They buy their gas off Greenup.
It was on AJ.
Yeah, okay. So they don't even have their own water income. I don't know how they afford it over there. It's gotta be the interstate.
Well, then what's our plan? Leave the salaries as they are?
I mean, they're posted. I mean, we voted on it and it wasn't just a rash decision to do it. I mean, it took some time to figure it out. I don't know why we would change it back.
All righty. Any other comments while we're gonna close the meeting?
What I'd just like to say, it pains me that I had to come up here tonight because I was worried about my wife. This guy and his camera and his Facebook crap, he called my wife a liar I think it's based on stuff he heard from you. Called her a liar yesterday on the friggin' internet. And all these crazy people screaming and cussing, and I'm scared to send her up here.
That's the main reason I had this meeting, try to clarify some of these lies.
Gotta reel
You
this
said
crap
this-
in.
You
This is
started
bullcrap.
setting this meeting before that hit
You had this
Facebook.
meeting to cover
You
your
had-
own self with your neighbors,
Yes.
is what you had this meeting
Is
for.
there anything wrong with that? I'm working for the
Absolutely.
taxpayer.
Absolutely.
No,
there
you're
is.
No,
not.
I work for the taxpayer.
You're not representing taxpayers. You're representing yourself and your neighborhood. You're not representing taxpayers. You sat here and lied multiple times at this meeting, and every time you've been caught in a lie, you say, I don't remember.
I lied several times tonight. I don't believe that. You're making this shit up, sir.
I'm making it up. Okay?
Just so you know, while we're just airing out, yeah, we're taxpayers too. Do we like to pay the tax? No. But a lot of what's going out there is that this raise is, it's unfortunate that this raise is the one that brought everybody in. I'm sorry, I do work very hard. Statutorily, I only have to be in my office one day a year. That sounds insane, I know, but I didn't write the statutes, the state of Illinois did. But I can guarantee you that I'm in my office more than that, where I can work from home if I need to, outside of the office hours. And so are every one of these four ladies. I have written for grants and gotten over 100,000, I can't remember the total, in grant money to take money off the taxpayers. We have to pay for maintenance of all of the equipment at the courthouse. I asked for money for that twice. I have been working hard, and I don't want the people of this community to look bad upon me because of this that's made public without the full disclosure of the information. And I just want to share also that once when I was first starting and learning the ropes, there was a raise that was given, and I was still figuring out how to work with the union, non-union. My office is non-union, and I fight hard to pay my girls fair wages so that I can get quality people, so that if you get a ticket, you don't lose your license because my clerk doesn't know what to enter in the disposition that goes to the state of Illinois. I want quality employees because I don't want a disposition to go in wrong to the Bureau of Investigation after a hearing. I want them to know what they're doing. When I started, my girls were starting at $11. You have seen in the paper, although I might add that not all of the information was in the paper and not all of it was correct, but you've seen what my office people make. I make about $5 to $7 more than them. I am not indemnified. I can be sued by any individual that comes into that courthouse. They can take my house, my husband's house, and our farm. I'm not covered. It's on me. I have a huge responsibility. All we asked for was for him to cover what he's giving to other people, including the other gender, versus what they're giving to us females. I'm not trying to be a radical person. We are just pointing it out. We always have been historically overlooked. One time they passed, back to my story, sorry, I squirreled off. They passed a raise and the payments come out. Jenny had already cut the checks. And after the first series of checks were cut, Floyd came to the office, my office, and called me out and said, do you think your girls would take less than that? They'd already gotten their checks.
Who asked you that?
Floyd Holkenbrink.
Don't remember that.
After of course he doesn't remember it. You also asked the state's attorney's chief person, administrative secretary, who's non-union. Would your girls take less than that? Is that good business? I mean, I was young and new and green, but I still told him, well, you don't do that after you've cut a check. We've already had the payments. So I'm sorry if it looks to the public like us four are being unfair or greedy. Believe me, I'm not. I'm very frugal. But this man isn't telling the whole truth, and neither is he, and neither is what's in the paper, because it's not complete. It's not comprehensive of all the information. I agree with you on the taxes, guys. I don't like mine either. But in order to build up the county, there have to be other means to build revenue. We cannot just focus on if our budget is black or red. That's not the only thing. It's multifaceted, and it's time we move forward together and quit bashing each other and trying to make it look like there's so much more problems. This is a good county. We have good people in this county. Why are we bashing one another? Why are you doing this? Is it that important, Aaron Beard, to do that? I
Rhonda,
added publicly that he's not answering.
Rhonda,
I will answer this because you said that what I posted was inaccurate. What I posted was that the county board voted on raises, that the initial raise was 27%. If that is inaccurate, then why are we all here and just heard the exact same thing? That was what was said at the meeting. That is what I posted. There's no other context to put in if that is what was said during the meeting.
You were insinuating that this was county board. You presented it as if it was just the county board, but that's not all that you were pointing out. And it's very clear that that's not all that you were pointing out. You edited, and people have put on there that we got 138% raise. There's all kinds of stuff. And I just don't feel that our 4 reputations need to be ruined over it. This.
how did that get 138% raise? How'd that come? Where'd that come from?
It was on that post, on that thread.
Well,
that
it's
you
just
started.
stuff you see on the internet.
Was it on there, Beth?
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous what to say. I didn't bother reading it all because I knew a lot was false.
But how we got 27% was just trying to get them up equal to what Clark County is making or Jasper County is making. And they are not even yet, but they're closer.
And then is the House bill that Todd was talking about. We all know that if the Democrats decide they're gonna pass that bill, it's gonna be passed, right? With super minority that we have in Springfield. So it would hit us even harder the next year for that to come for our budget.
But there's an offset, there is an offset with that one.
How does Clark County, right at the present time, before any raises go into effect, compare with Cumberland County? Are they way higher?
Clark?
Clerk right now is
So right
57.
now, the raise that they granted us in comparison to
No.
theirs.
57, we're 53.
Before anybody.
They were
raised.
similar, that they're getting,
They're fifth,
They were,
we're at 53, they're at 57, and they're going to 70.
What?
We were at 53,000 and some change. They're at 57,000 and some change, and they're going up to 70,000.
They're going up to 70.
Yes.
Jasper doing similar.
Jasper's going up to 72,
Jasper's going to 72,000,
What's their
and
salary?
they're at 61.
and they're at 61 currently.
Then is everybody gonna have to pay this penalty to IMRF then?
The penalty, I forget how the penalty works, but if you go above 6%, and if all these ladies would retire within 10 years, then there's a penalty. If they'd all have, am I stating this correctly? There's a 10-year thing where they can retire. So if they all would retire or pull out of the IMRF, there would be a penalty to the county. But as long as they all don't do it at the same time, it shouldn't be that much.
Yeah, that's what Ed was saying. He was explaining to me today that that would be.
You mentioned retirement.
and there's more information.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people were upset because of that penalty. That's what I've been hearing.
It's not necessarily a penalty. It'd be a lump sum payment. If you do the 10 years, the employer rate is just affected over the 10-year period. So you're going to pay it no matter what. If someone does retire and there's an accelerated payment, they're just wanting their money because they won't be able to draw it out over the 10 years to make the employer rate, fluctuate for that retirement. So it's something they'll pay anyway. If we all work 10 years, they're going to pay it. And if you retire, it's just they want that lump sum.
So it's kind of misleading when somebody says a penalty.
Yes. And that's why I
I
did
think
say,
either way, just
That's
one
how
way
it
or
was
the other.
worded was, and yeah, I know if everybody works for 10 or 12 years, you're paying it as you go. It's to keep somebody from getting a great big raise now and then retiring,
Right.
because the employer doesn't have to pay that, but the IMRF has to pay it over
Right.
And that is
a
exactly-
lifetime.
That is
Yeah.
exactly why I started that, yes.
Yeah, it's to
But I
keep-
will say, when I started 19 years ago, our rate was about 15%. We got down to 5. So, I mean, our IMRF constantly is going down because of longevity, but you do have some.
so that was part of the misinformation. It's not that we disagree with information being out there, but it's very hard for the public to understand it. And I feel like it was a misrepresentation of that information because this other additional information is not made available. That's why we sit down and talk. That's why we meet and discuss.
Does anybody know how much additional it's gonna cost to pay IMRF with these raises? Has anybody calculated that?
I'm showing you.
It may not cost anything if nobody retires within 10 years.
Oh, that's what the deal is.
He's not talking family, he's talking just another
Well,
raise.
you would just take your rates times what we pay at 5% or whatever.
We
it
pay
is.
5% to IMRF,
It's something like that,
about
yeah.
5. Yeah, it wouldn't be that 5% of the raise, which wouldn't be,
5% of whatever the raise is.
which would be for one person, I don't know, it would add up. I don't know. Mhm. Mhm.
And it wouldn't be the first time that we made that accelerated payment. Just so you're aware that it would not be the first time. We have done that in the past, had to make an accelerated payment.
Okay, enough discussion on one last question.
I'd just like to say, I'm not criticizing anybody's job. You guys do a good job in here. It's just, you gotta look at our point. You're paying your taxes, I have to give price increases too, and I know exactly what you're saying. This year I gave a 3% increase because if you don't, you keep lagging behind. This is what happens when you have to raise up to catch you all at once. But, you see your taxes go up, $1,500 and you're like, you haven't made an improvement to your place. And it gets discouraging living here in this state because you're afraid to do anything. Anything you do, you get penalized for. You're better off you did on public deed. Let the government take care of you.
That's what they want.
That's what they want, yes.
We can't get into that.
I think that's like, in my opinion, I think that's where the untimeliness of people getting tax bills in the mail and then the Facebook post was made. And I'm right there with a lot of us, I don't understand all the information either, but I try to educate myself and understand. And I think it was just very it was untimely with the public being informed the way that they were. And I don't think it's a matter of well, you didn't have all the information, Aaron. I think it's just a matter of just making sure that you're not shining a light on these people they're trying to screw our community out of taxpayers' money. And that may not have been your intent. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying that, as you know, with that Facebook page, which you also know my opinions on it, but as you know with that Facebook page, it gets out of hand really fast. And I know that when you're an administrator or a page that size, it can get out of hand faster than you can keep it under control. But I just feel like one little bit of extra information to clarify would have helped the community not to become so emotionally charged about it. But I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come and understand a little bit more. And I know this isn't an easy job that you guys are sitting there doing, and we appreciate you. I obviously appreciate these ladies as well, but I feel leaving this meeting like I understand everything a lot better. So I'm appreciative of that.
Thank you. Well, I guess that's all. We'll close the meeting, okay? Thanks for coming.
Here's your paper back.